Hey everybody, welcome to Sonic Tiger TV. Today I'm going to do a product review on the Star Shower Motion Light. I want to share my experience owning two of these lights and actually went through a couple things just over the past couple weeks during this course of ownership that I'll share with you. Overall, I would say my experience with the product is positive, although after purchasing it and using it, in real life and getting some experience with it, I will say I've ended up using it for a little bit of some different purposes than maybe what it's advertised for. So I will get into that along with some other things here now. Okay. Alright, so about a couple weeks ago when I got I started out with one light. Okay, I brought it home, plugged it in, had it facing upward into a tree in my front yard that created this pretty cool effect where there was a bunch of the lights, scattered around all these different branches, and the branches help break up the pattern so you don't see quite as an organized pattern. I think it looks quite a bit more natural. So I really liked it. It looked like this mystical sort of glow, like fairy dust, magical effect kind of scattering throughout this tree, and it was really cool. I had it set up like that for about 5 days or so, and then one morning I go outside and I notice the light is missing. So I was fairly disappointed. I just spent about $50 on this light and I was happy with it, and all of a sudden it was just gone. So that's one thing you want to keep in mind should you decide to go out and get one of these lights. If you place it in your front yard close to the road or in a somewhat accessible area on your property, and you live in a neighborhood where you're not quite sure if it's completely safe or not. You don't know if a kid may walk off there one day playing with his buddies or something like that. So that's something to keep in mind. I would say that's one con to the light compared to regular traditional Christmas lights that you string along the roof line of your home. You don't exactly have to worry about those going missing. So that would be one con I would mention. Fortunately, about a week and a half later, about a week later, the light that had gone missing, from as far as I know, showed up in my mailbox. I'm pretty sure it's the same light because I noticed kind of the sticker on it was something I recognized. So very fortunate to get that back. Not quite sure what happened there, who knows. But anyhow, if somebody took it, I guess they decided to return it. So I was really psyched about that. In the meantime, however, I did go and get two replacement lights. I got a really good deal at Target, by the way. It was on this app, Cartwheel. You can download on your smartphone. You can get various discounts. In this case, I was able to get 10% off at that time. So if you do decide to go check out these lights, if you go to Target, you may check out Cartwheel. They may be on there. You could get a nice discount on there, 10%. And then for me, actually, I got an additional 20% off on that purchase because it happened to be over the holidays on Cyber Monday, where there was 15% off throughout the entire store, and I used a Target Red Card, got an additional 5%. So I was able to get 30% off during that purchase. So that was pretty cool. Some other aspects of the light that I'll share with you. Number one, the light isn't quite as bright as you may think. Yes, it puts out a lot of different points of light. However, especially with one light, if you shine it on your home, it's not terribly bright. So definitely not as bright as, say, if you put a string of traditional white Christmas lights along the roof line of your home, just maybe a single string about 40 feet long. This light probably won't draw quite as much attention or just immediate sort of catching of your eye, just because of the fact that it's just not quite as bright as some of the other more traditional lights that are just higher wattage. This light, a positive on the other hand, and related to the point I just made, is that it's very energy efficient. It only runs on about 1.8 watts, I believe it is. I saw that recently on just a special they had going on TV. Whereas if you have a bunch of different Christmas lights generating a comparable amount of points of light on your home, you could be running anywhere from 50 to 100 to 150, 200 or more watts, and really, using quite a bit more electricity to light up your home. So, a couple other points. On the box here, you can see they recommend buy 2 or more for spectacular results. Now, I do currently have 2, and I've had them for a couple weeks. I've tried a number of different positions. Putting 2 of them up, it will increase the intensity somewhat and obviously give you more points of light, but I still wouldn't say it makes a ton of difference. Even with 2 or 3, still the intensity of the light I wouldn't say isn't all that strong. And if you're looking for kind of that intensity, that robust light that kind of really catches somebody's eye, traditional Christmas lights may be, I would say, probably a better option. However, a big point of this light is that it is quite convenient. You bring it home, you screw it into the base, and it's ready to go. You can place it in your yard, and you'll be set. A con of this light that I notice is when you have it pointed straight at your home, if you like to have your windows open and you have this set on motion, you're going to have a bunch of different lights floating throughout your home and creating just a lot of different movement inside your home. It almost feels like you're in like some sort of disco ball type environment, and I would imagine a lot of people probably don't want this just these moving party lights going throughout their home every night during the month of December. So you could turn it on still. However, in my personal preference, I mean, I like to have a number of the windows open just to get a bunch of natural light in, and having it set on still just seemed a little bit odd. I mean, basically, I want the light on the exterior of the house or in another area of the property, lighting that up, not necessarily the interior of my home. Now, that does really lead me to a related point. This product is pretty neat inside and could certainly be used as quite a cool party light, actually. When you have it in a smaller area, like for instance, I'm not going to show you the light, but just if you look here, just at a room like this, when I lit it up in here, it's actually quite cool in the dark. And if you have it in a dark room, it'll create a nice effect. The lights will be bright. It's a much more intense light feeling than you get outside. And not only that, you could have it set up in the dark and still have people moving about and just kind of partying, doing their thing, because it does generate enough light for that. So that's something to keep in mind. It does have kind of a versatile use in that regard. The last point that I think I'll share with you that I think, is definitely one of the most important points. Basically, originally, I intended for this light to be a main source of lighting on the property to light up the home, things like that, and be sort of a kind of a main light source. And that's what it's advertised for. It's advertised to light up homes and be essentially your main source of Christmas decoration there, with all these different quote-unquote millions or thousands of points of light. However, after becoming familiar with just the level of light intensity and kind of the pattern and things like that, I've chosen to use it more as an accent light. And given its lower wattage and intensity, my feeling is that it it serves, I would say, a more appropriate function as an accent light really than a main source of lighting. So what I've done is I have two lights positioned on each one on a large tree in my front yard, and it creates that really cool effect. It almost feels like it's something out of like a Harry Potter movie or something, where at night you have all these different sort of sparkling, magical, like fairy dust type patterns sparkling in and off the branches in your trees, and I think that's really neat. It's a really nice effect. I'm gonna walk outside and just show you the where I've positioned the lights, and that'll give you an idea. Although unfortunately it is daytime right now, and you won't actually be able to see the lights on and working, of course. But and I know I'm not actually showing the pattern of the lights themselves in this review, and I know that is quite useful. I also know there's a number of videos that do have the patterns showcased in the reviews, the actual light. So I would recommend giving those out. Mainly this video is meant to more so share my experience with them and my opinion as to whether or not they are a justified, value-based, worthwhile purchase. Okay. Alright. Getting chilly out today. Okay. So we're going to take a look here. Now, you see there. Now, I actually screwed the base of this to the tree. You see it points upward, up this big tree here, and you get this really cool effect up in the branches here when it's nighttime. Okay, it's the first one. I put it high enough where people can't mess with it or kind of pull it off. Yeah, somebody could unplug it, but with it adhered to the trunk, people can't unscrew it and walk away with it, which is nice. And this is the second one here. Again, the base is screwed into the trunk there, just with a couple screws. This one points up at this tree here. And yeah, gives it a very cool effect up there. So, thank you for watching, guys. If I were to give this a rating out of 10, I would say an 8.2 would be appropriate, approximately. For the positives being ease of use, cool pattern, versatility, you could use it as a party light too, and just sort of overall, yeah, simplicity. On the con side, I would say the intensity is a little bit low. I would say it's more appropriate as an accent lighting, probably. And I would say the price maybe a little bit high for just, you know, one teeny little light like that. So I hope you enjoyed the review. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share your own opinions below on just what your experience has been. Whether you decide to go out and get one, if you do, hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next video. Happy holidays.